All right, so hopefully you've gone to this website. If you haven't already, stop this video now. Go back up to the previous link where, again, in the page in Canvas, I've given you this link. Go watch this video. I'm serious. Watch from 7:35 to 9:23. Wonderful information about how the Calvin cycle works. Important parts here that we need to make sure we understand. Calvin cycle is going to use the energy stored in the ATP and NADPH that were generated during the light cycle. Right, so energy stored, converted from light, gets stored in chlorophyll, then turned into ATP and NADH through an electron transport chain and some enzymes, ATP synthase. So the Calvin cycle is going to use those high energy molecules, the energy stored in those molecules, to fix 3 carbon dioxide cell or molecules to larger carbon chains. So carbon dioxide doesn't have a lot of energy. This G3P molecule is a pretty high energy, simple sugar molecule. So to get from low energy CO2 to G3P, we got to add energy. Where does that energy come from? The light dependent reactions. So we take the energy from light dependent reactions, basically turn 3 molecules of CO2 into a 3 carbon sugar that, and I say is essentially half of a glucose molecule that's easily converted through other reactions outside them into larger chains of higher energy molecules that can then be later on used by the plant or consumed by other organisms and used by them. Much more stable than ATP or NADH, this G3P. And again, then later when it turns into glucose or something like that, that's really stable. As opposed to ATP, which just kind of randomly blows up in the cell and generates heat if you have too much of it. And NADPH isn't a lot better. I think your texts say these last for millionths of a second within the cell. They're not stable at all, very high energy. And that's what I'm saying is if you produce too much and they just randomly blow up, bad things happen to the cell. So once they're in this energy form, they've got to quickly get into the Calvin cycle so it can be stored in a much more stable form. And that's the whole process. So again, back up here. This is basically, I keep coming back to this diagram because I think it's a beautiful, simple, elegant representation of the chloroplast within a plant cell, of what it's doing. And again, the light's hitting, getting stored in this stack of thylakoids, and the thylakoids are bringing in water and they're kicking out oxygen and they're trapping hydrogen inside, and they're using that to generate ATP and NADH. And that powers this Calvin cycle, which generates G3P. Guys, that's it. I'm serious. That is chapter 8 in a nutshell. And that's exam 2 material. So again, let me kind of work on making sure I get us a room. I should be able to do a review on campus on Monday, answer your questions, cover anything that's not clear. And then exam 2, test 2, whatever you want to call it, that'll be next Wednesday, a week from today. Okay. All right, guys, let me know if you need something. I'm not hearing from you guys, so I'm assuming everything's okay. I hope so. I know it's not ideal, but here we are. We'll make it work. All right, guys, here we go.